It is time for some grand finals action, but before we get into it, we've got a lot to talk about here on this episode of Overcast. Always love seeing that intro. Welcome, everybody. It is time for the Ruby Grand Finals, where we will watch the Vancouver Wild take on the Washington Rebellion. But before we get into any of that, we've got to talk and we've got to yap a little bit. I am your host, Ajax, and we are going to sit down for a second and we're going to take a step back so we can look at how these two teams got here. Now, of course, the first team we are going to talk about is the Vancouver Wild, which I have labeled the final challenge, aka Adbon's going to carry his team again. Because here's what we've seen so far this season. We've seen this Vancouver team pound. The really team that gave them the most challenge was going to be that Buffalo team in the beginning. Then, towards the end, there was a little bit of a Dallas come up. But otherwise, Vancouver has been absolutely strong, with especially thanks to a very new member to the United Rogue server in Identity. But the rest of the team is no slouch. They, unfortunately, are going to have to go against Washington, who I have dubbed the comeback team. The beginning of their season, they went winless, dropping 3 losses. And then they had the roster switches galore. I mean, they kept 3 of the OG members and then picked up 3 new ones. And since then, they have become unstoppable, taking out Buffalo along their way, taking out some of these other teams. And now we're going to have to see these two teams clash yet again. Now, I would love to sit here and yap about a lot of these players on both teams, but I don't think I can do it myself. So I have gathered 2 humans who I think can do a mediocre enough job that we can get through it. We can yap enough and give enough entertainment to write a good narrative as we go into this final. So please let me introduce Bowser and Saucepan. And boys, this one I'm excited for. I'm quite excited for this one. And I want to hear, starting with Saucepan, who do you think is the favorite going into this game?
I think the favorite has to be. I want it to be War. My favorite is War. It's not only a little bit of bias. It's not like my GM plays for that team or anything, but I like their. It's not the comeback story they had started going there. So that's where also I think I would have supported them regardless of my GM.
Very fair. Bowser, what are we thinking for you, buddy? Who's the favorite?
I hate to be boring, but I'm going to have to go with War as well. They have so many GOATs on the team. Vanguard, Tank GOAT, Dan, not really a GOAT, Foliage DPS GOAT, Liam, Super GOAT, been coaching Pip for a couple of seasons. Love those guys. Adbon's pretty good, but it's going to be tough taking down the Avengers of War.
So since War are the Avengers, I'm going to call Vancouver the Justice League because they have a lot of good players. One of which I specifically am going to look out for is Identity. Man has been absolutely insane on the DPS role. You two, I want to hear, Bowser, you've listed off a lot of names, basically the entirety of War. Who are some of these players that you're going to be looking out for in some of these head-to-heads, right? So in the tank matchup, who do you give the edge to? In the DPS, who are you looking at? I want to know what your opinion is for some of those head-to-heads.
I think the closest one is going to be the tank matchup. I think the Adbon Vanguard matchup should be super fun to watch. That one I'm really looking forward to. DPS wise, I think Identity is such a phenomenal player that they can carry Vancouver in the DPS department. Foliage is pretty good, Kieran's pretty good, but I think Identity is just such a great player. And as much as I love Icy and Andrew, I think it's tough to compete against the DPS duo, or not DPS, the support duo of Stan and Liam. That might be the best support duo. Trying to think if there's any other ones I think are better. Probably not.
Bro, Soup Can Recon. You kidding me?
That's what I was about to say. I think you're missing Chicago's support line up here.
Moving on. Yep, thanks.
What do you mean? Ain't no way.
But yeah, like I said, the tank matchup is definitely the closest one in my mind. It should be really fun to watch.
Nice. Saucepan, out of those tank, DPS, and support matchups, which ones are you going to be looking at the closest?
I'm gonna repeat Bowser. I hate to be boring, but I gotta agree with that tank one. I think the DPS matchup's gonna be also shockingly close. I think it's definitely gonna be. You're gonna have like there's power on both teams there. You know, both a lot of flexibility in those DPS pools. You're gonna see a lot of interesting things come out. Surely Foliage will play Venture and make my day. You know, I love my Venture.
It is true.
But I think it's gonna be exciting. I think it's gonna be a lot of exciting matchups. It's definitely just gonna be a fun game to watch.
Now you mentioned, Foliage picking up the Venture, and a lot of these teams have some of those comfort picks. We've seen Foliage on the Venture before, and he is lights out. When you start to think of some of the other comfort picks coming out from some of these other characters and players, one comes to my mind, and I didn't think I would say it, but I have to say it. The Vancouver swapping Cool in for the support line and letting Cool play Lifeweaver against Dallas should not have worked as well as it did, but it did. So when you have a roster that is as deep as Vancouver, that you can kind of rotate around, Icy's going to play Kiri. He's going to be baller at it. That Andrew 9 times out of 10 is probably going to play the Juno, and he's going to be good at it. Are there going to be any picks that you fully expect other than those coming out from some of these teams? Do you expect a hard lock Zen from Liam because it's his favorite character? Do you expect Stan to throw on Sombra occasionally if he gets put into the DPS role? Are there any kind of characters that we expect to see?
I would be so happy to see a Stan Sombra. I don't think it's going to happen, but I'd be so excited.
That would be an exciting time. Maybe if they're really feeling spicy, the Stan Doomfist comes out. True expert of his craft.
Oh no! Now we're really throwing. Link would not be happy.
What are you talking about? The Stan Doom won me like a
carries my ranked games, surely. just ask him about the game, the Para-ESO game. It went phenomenally well, surely.
He's still on the silver account?
Maybe.
We did not condone surfing in this lobby or in this league.
We don't, none at all. I will say another pick I want to highlight is I think we're just even though it's some comfort picks, I think Kieran's Mei and Genji I think we're gonna see some exciting coming out of it. He's been filling in a war really well there. Meshing into that a little bit of like a 4-stack they kind of had going. He's been working really well with them. He's been performing and played a singular game with him on New York last season when I got drafted into that disaster. But that was a fun time. But I definitely saw the strength there. I definitely saw the performance there, and I think I'm hoping to see maybe a little bit more of that.
I think after the Washington Buffalo game, I called Kieran's Mei my dad or something to that effect, because you're right.
It's lethal.
Kieran Mei was
it's lethal.
Destructive. It was insane. But that is a good point. I think Kieran is probably like the unsung hero on this Washington team. I want to shout out Smooth, because the dude's hit scan has been absolutely insane this season as well. I think that is another player that people don't watch out for enough, especially after Rico put him through the absolute training camp. Or not training camp, but just like, hey, play Overwatch jail 99,000 times.
Overwatch sweatshop.
That's what we were talking about. Hey, Smooth in the sweatshop, baby. But no, seriously, I think Smooth's hit scan has been insane. And so to match that, we see Foliage, swapping over to the Ashe occasionally. That is going to be a huge matchup where, if I'm being honest, I think I give the advantage to Smooth 9 times out of 10.
No, I think it's a fair point because, Identity and Foliage are, kind of your, not necessarily Identity being like a household name, but, kind of being your strong DPS players. They're kind of really good, but, in like IRL sports, a lot of times for these championship teams, it's the role players is what make the difference. So maybe, whoever wins that second DPS battle between Kieran and Smooth could be the difference for whichever team pulls out on top.
That is true. I like what you said about, it kind of will come down to the, supporting roster in that, not necessarily being the supports, but talking about the supports. I mean, you have the staple Kiri Juno versus the Zen Juno. And both looks are great, but I think you guys have a favorite in which one might win that battle.
Just a little bit.
Maybe. Icy is pretty nasty on the Kiri though. Never count my boy out.
That is true. But when you got to go against Liam on the Zen, I mean, the dude is deadly. What are some ways that Vancouver can get around that insane backline for Washington?
I want to say like some way of just handling that Discord. Like Suzu's a soft fix, you get that, but then you can't just be burning it every time someone gets Discord. It's a far longer cooldown. Maybe like flexing on that Zarya, running that Zarya out there. Using those bubbles to try to keep Discorded out, or even just like a Rhine forcing it. Is just I think what makes the Zen so powerful is not just the person playing them is very very good at that characters. I think just the power of having that Discord is so incredibly potent, and it helps enable an already powerful DPS lineup. They're already outputting damage, and when you add that Discord boost in there, it completely wipes.
I like what you said about the Zarya pick too, because on both teams we have some phenomenal Zarya players. Vanguard on the Zarya was doing wonders back on Chicago. And Bowser, I think you remember how Adbon Zarya was, no?
Oh yeah, the old pick comp and Adbon screaming, playing Zarya. That was fun to listen in on.
Shout out the 0 damage Sombra that Bowser had when Pit was making Pit comp.
Yep, still 3-0 in Ruby. Best Emerald player. Undefeated in Ruby.
Insane. But Bowser, since you're 3-0 in Ruby, you are an absolute expert in the field.
Yes, of course.
What do you think? Oh, yes, of course. What do you think are some maps or map types that these teams are going to be geared towards or look to kind of run away from? Are there any kind of favorites that you think some of these teams have in their back pocket?
I can't really think of necessarily maybe a favorite or a weakness, but I feel excited to watch control between these two teams. I feel like the control could be evenly matched. Maybe see like a Zarya mirror on that or something, but I feel like control specifically could be probably the most exciting to watch.
And if you're saying that's the most exciting, what map for control are you hoping for the most?
I don't know. I could see maybe a hog on well could be really really fun to watch in the grand finals.
Truly exciting.
If we get the hog well, that'd be crazy.
I mean, it would just be like the most emerald thing ever to happen in Ruby Grand Finals history, I feel like.
This is true. So now, you're excited for the control. Saucepan, what game mode are you most excited to see, and who would you say gets the advantage in it?
I would love to see some escort. I feel like if that choice is given to War, they're just gonna lock that circuit again. That is just a map that they have had just complete dominance on. Vanguard and that Sigma there is just completely like running those games. It's very impressive to see. So I think if they're given that choice, they're gonna lock that circuit. It's a comfort pick. It works really well for them. I think even if it is just a rinse and repeat type map, it'll still be an exciting map to watch. But if they're forced into something else, I'm very, very curious to see where they go. I don't remember everything in the pool off the top of my head, but some of those maps have some very interesting tank flexes. Gibraltar and Dorado both offer those. I don't think they're in the pool, but I'm just bringing those up as examples, unfortunately. I think there's just a lot of flexibility in that map type too, just for the tank players in general. It's Shambali, Junkertown, and Rialto. Those are the other ones. I named the two not in the pool. I mean, Rialto
Unfortunate.
runs the Sigma, and I know on average you can run that. But again, a lot of flexibility. Junkertown offers a lot of that flexibility. I think it's just Escort offers a lot of variety in terms of just what tanks you run. I think it's a very that's how those metas tend to shift, at least in my viewing and mild playing experience. And the true elo of plat. The highlight.
So then, taking a look at some of those maps, like you said, there is going to be a lot of flexibility over in, especially the tank role, with some of the other game modes, because this is going to be a first to 4. We're going to have to go through a couple different game modes. Bowser, do you see a Flashpoint Clash popping up before push or after push?
I think push probably comes up first. If either Flashpoint or Clash pops up, I think it would only be Saravasa. I think that's the only one that has a chance of being picked before it. But even then, I still think it's going to be one of the push maps.
That does make sense. Not a lot of people are liking the Flashpoint Clash. It's
Clash
kind
is
of
terrible.
Brian, Bowser, I want you to tell me. Tell me how terrible it is. Do it right now. You won't.
It's a good mode. They just ruined it with the last point, and it's a bad mode. Just bad. So bad. The last point, when you get to point 1 or 5, it's just bad. That's it. Bad
That's
mode.
so crazy because I heard Saucepan loves that game mode.
Well, I liked it before they changed it. It was really, that season 10 test, you're in a good rush brawly comp, you just run people down. Surely that was good. Full cap in 3 minutes. It was excellent.
Yeah,
made it
great
impossible
mode.
to
2
full cap.
CP.
Exactly. It's bringing me back to the classic Hanamura days.
Oh god. So honestly, those days, I wouldn't mind 1 or 2 of those days coming back. Maybe even a Volskaya. Huh? Bowser?
Ooh.
Get it?
That is the name spoken in infamy.
We don't talk about the Volskaya incident.
I can't wait to talk about the Volskaya incident, but I also can't wait to talk about some of the award winners from Ruby this season. That's right, the awards have come in. We are going to see who is your Ruby All-Star Team 1 right now. And these names probably shouldn't surprise people. We've got Naptime, Foliage Johan, Liam, and Shogun. Honestly, I don't think this surprises anybody.
Yeah, absolutely not.
Wow, Cotton, I'm shocked.
Oh. We got the Team 1's got the double Zen backline.
Yo, if you could still run that, I think this team would actually just... The top 3 would just hang out in a side office and let the 2 Zens go wild. That'd be insane. I would crap my pants.
Gaming.
Oh my god. Ugh. No, none of that. That scares me to my core. But so does Ruby Team 2. Because what scares you even more is I made the roster. We've got Vanguard, we've got Shoko, we've got Blue Jay, Stan, and me. I don't know who voted for me, but you're an actual idiot. There were so many better candidates. I think the rest of these are fine. I think I would love to play some Zen gameplay, but I'm not as good as the other 2. But I think Vanguard, Blue Jay, Choco, and Stan up here, rightfully deserved.
It's crazy that you're second team and Choo Choo Man is also second team. Like, y'all are the same tier, and that's just categorically just false, incorrect, wrong.
Are you telling me I'm not in the same caliber as Blue Jay, Choco, and Vanguard?
Or even Stan. As much as I shit on Stan, he's still light years better than you.
I don't want to take this anymore. I am not going to take this anymore because actually...
Getting bullied on your own show.
Yeah, no, because now we're talking about the MVP, who is the actual GOAT. It's going to be Liam. Day 1 Washington, helping carry out some of the lower gold people. That's right, Bowser, I called you gold. You suck.
I'm boosted.
But
hey, he's high elo now. He hit high elo.
Yes, sir. High elo gold player.
Shout out to Ghost for helping with that.
True.
Oh, that was a fun night. But also shout out Liam, absolutely deserved MVP, looking to catch the dub. But
Goat of Ruby, Goat of Emerald.
Yeah, this is true. Shout out Liam for coaching as well. But I think we're going to look for Andrew, who's been helping out behind the scenes. I think we're going to look for a certain wheel might make a return. Any thoughts, my boy?
Oops, hit the wrong button to unmute my mic. Yes, we do have something. It's called a wheel. Oh my gosh, is that the famous wheel from the podcast known as Overcast that everyone loves and appreciates and doesn't say anything bad about? You better not say anything bad about it. It knows all.
Bowser will
it knows
hunt you
everything.
down if you say something bad about us.
Exactly. Now, we have the wheel to tell us who actually wins Ruby. We haven't chosen who wins Ruby yet, objectively, but, like, the wheel can't be non-objective, so it must know their answer. So let's give it a spin here and see what is official and for certain the winner of Ruby. And it looks like it's going to be Washington Rebellion. The wheel knows all. It just knows. It's a pretty strong team, I'm not gonna lie. It's a pretty reasonable choice here, but don't get us out yet. But we'll still love you, please just choose Vancouver next time.
You have the power to change it.
That is true. I can just do another wheel spin here, but one's enough for a day, so we'll save that for next time.
That is true. The wheel knows all, but we'll see if we know enough. The wheel predicts Washington. Let's see what us here on our tiny little desk predict. And we're going to start it out with Saucepan. My boy, you heard it from the wheel first. Washington's going to win. Do you agree, disagree, and what is your score line? I
do agree. I'm leaning Washington. I said at the beginning I favor them. I think I'm gonna go 4-1 here. I think Vancouver's definitely gonna be able to take a map. We've seen this Washington team still have a little bit of a rough start. Sometimes that map one can be a little shaky, hit or miss. But it's like an old car. It takes a little bit to start up, but once it's going, it's going.
Dan being called the equivalent of an old car by his own. Not teammate, draft thing. I'm going to save myself with a transition over to Bowser. Who's going to win and what's the score line?
I'm going to go with a hot take here. I think Icy is going to lift his curse of coming in second place in literally every league, every season. I think Vancouver's going to win in 7. 4-3.
Oh my God, the 4-3. Ooh.
Wheel's not a ball knower this time around.
You're going against the wheel. This is actually insane.
I've had a lot to drink tonight.
You know what? Shout out alcohol. Everybody's best friend.
As long as you're 21 years of age in the United States or the legal drinking age in your countries if you're not in the United States.
That is very important. Thank you for saving me. I'm going to save myself now with my prediction. And I was going back and forth on this. Because I think Vancouver is a very slept-on team in this situation. But I cannot go against my morals. I've got to give it to Washington in the 7. I predict this goes all the way. Give me the 4-3 for Washington. And I think that this game, regardless, is going to be a banger. Because one way or another, either Icy and Andrew finally... well, Andrew, you've gotten championship before. I've been thinking of you on Philly for a little bit.
Ruby, but
whoops.
Yeah,
Ruby. This is your first Ruby championship. This could be Icy's first championship. But this could be Washington's and Foliage's first championship, along with some of the other guys on that roster. So, who knows? We might have to see. But that might be it for us. It is about game time. Lads, any final thoughts before we get into the action?
Go Pitt.
Okay.
Go Pitt.
All right. Yep. This is fully devolved into Go Pitt. I will third the Go Pitt as a former Pitt boy. Thank you, everybody, for watching. Please stick around because we will have the Vancouver Wild taking on the Washington Rebellion in just a couple minutes.
Good evening, United Rogue Overwatch connoisseurs, those who've been sticking with us, those who've been waiting. I am here today, joined by the absolute expert, the Grandmaster, the play analysis man himself. Zach, what's going on?
Not much, Arnos, not much. You know, I'm here. We've got War, we got Vancouver, and we've got the Ruby Grand Finals coming, and this should be the hype match of the season.
Here we go. Season 6, Ruby Finals. It's been a slog. We had a break in the middle. We had holidays, people's semesters ending, starting. It's a whole new year. You know, season 7 is coming soon. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. Go do your intent forms, everybody in the chat. But that's it. We're here. Congratulations. We have arrived. What do you think we have in store for us tonight?
You know what? Watching both of these teams, these are our top teams for a reason. Vanguard and Adbon, presumably both of them playing tank for their respective teams, should be a fight to watch. And we do have a sub coming in. Icy coming into the starting lineup at support for Vancouver. Andrew going to the bench. Icy in check. Guess I'm not benched. Woo. A little bit of banter in there. You love to see it. But both of these teams have fought their way tooth and nail through the regular season, through the playoffs, to make it to this point, and for good reason. These have been our top teams. These have been some of the most flexible, some of the strongest teams we have seen in Ruby. So watching these two Titans, you know, kick it off and slug it out, this will be very entertaining.
Absolutely. And, you know, throughout the season, we have seen, you know, the rise and not so rise of some of our Ruby rosters here. But Vancouver have been a strong contender from the outset. But we had a mid-season roster change for more that completely changed the game and really brought. I mean, it's pretty much a whole new roster, and it's a scary one at that.
It's a whole new roster, but a huge amount of credit over to the GM Moto for, you know, recognizing when things were going wrong and to say, you know what, it's not working. Let me scrap all of this. Let me get a bunch of players that I know can come together, that can lead this team to a victory. And here we are. We're watching Vanguard, season champion from last season, on Chicago, Foliage, who's been in grand finals so many times, is coming in, and the Lord Stan, GM of Pitt, coming back playing support alongside Liam, the coach of Pitt. This should be this War team. A lot of respect for all of these players on the side of War. Really excited to watch them all take the stage.
Absolutely. We have some star-studded rosters, and I want to give a quick shout-out here to Identity. I believe this is his inaugural season as a player, making it all the way to Grand Finals. Welcome. The stage is set. We've got new faces, returning champions. You know, we've got a storyline here, the whole deal. All that's left is to play this one out. For those of you who are not aware in the chat, Grand Finals is a best of 7. So strap in. It's keep your all arms, legs, and tentacles inside of the rail car at all times. I think off to our Antarctic Peninsula we go.
Maybe. We do know Vancouver. So Vancouver, coming in as the higher seed, do have first map pick. When they played their semifinals match against Dallas, they did choose to go to Antarctic Peninsula as our starting map. Could this possibly signal what Adbon want? You know, could this possibly signal what they want to do against Dallas? You know, Adbon played a lot of Reinhardt. We saw Cool come in and play the Life Weaver and enable Adbon to go hyper aggressive and then just pull him right back as soon as started. You know, no more cooldowns in the back line. I need my escape card. Let's go. Pull him.
I mean, we've got. Oh, sorry, I take that back. We haven't gone ahead and picked map just yet. War has announced that they are ready. We're just waiting for Vancouver here to I don't know what's going on there. They're probably Power Rangers combining to form the Megazord. But it's I mean, these two teams,
are so evenly matched to a certain extent, in my opinion. I'm gonna be completely and perfectly honest. I think this is one of the most even matchups I think we've ever had.
This should be one of the most even matchups we have on paper, where a lot of these teams are going to come down to, you did mention Identity. Shout out to Identity. First season in UR, first grand finals. I've been there, buddy, 2 times when I started back in season 4. It's a lot to be on here, but he's stacking up alongside Adbon, Cool, and Smooth, all champions in their own right, and Icy, who has been in grand finals so many countless times. This time playing against the franchise that he's taken them to, but nonetheless, been here.
And we've got to pick. Antarctic Peninsula will be our first map for this series to kick it all off. Here we go. The map picked the least on average, but much more so here in playoffs. Away we go.
Yeah, much more so here in playoffs. A lot of this map should open up for a brawl, which we did see Vancouver really like to lean into in their semifinals match. But Washington, Vanguard on the Sigma, this map does also allow for those long sidelines. So watching him take over this map and watching him take over the series could be a treat.
It certainly could be. Vanguard known for that high tier Sigma enjoying gameplay. By the way, I do have to shout out one more player. We have Cool here on the side of Vancouver. Is going to be our production. Hopefully not a caster curse. Possible. You've always got to shout out the production people, But once again, no caster curse. We're not rooting for any team. We cannot be blamed for grand finals.
Nope, no bias. Arnos, we've been here before. Can't be biased. As the doors are opening up, Vancouver again, showing the Reinhardt, showing the Life Weaver out of Cool, the same strategy they used against Dallas in their semis. Washington, in the Sigma play. Sigma foliage onto the Torbjorn, Kieran onto the May, really trying to lean into this poke style. If Adbon can get in and close the distance, it should be favoring Vancouver, but do not underestimate the amount of spam damage coming through on the side of War. As Adbon falling really low, getting around the corner, forcing the life grip out of Cool fairly early, and Washington gets first tap of the point.
And these two tanks, Adbon and Vanguard, well known for being pretty much 2 of probably the 3 best tanks that we have seen for quite a few seasons here in United Rogue Overwatch. And I mean, here it is. The question is going to be, who's going to come out on top? I mean, it is you got the Rhine, you've got the Sig. I don't think I've ever seen Adbon come out of the gates on the Rhine before. But he knows he can't slouch against Vanguard and Sig. Vanguard has held multiple rosters, multiple seasons at bay, not by himself, right, but certainly tip of the speed.
Tip of the speeder indeed, as Maywolves are coming up. Rock out, and Foliage finds the first blow onto Vanguard. Kieran turns around, picks off Icy, Foliage and Kieran into the backline, picking off Identity Cool, and Liam will send Smooth back to the Shadow Realm as a team kill horn sounds, and we are 50% and counting on the point for Washington.
Absolutely. If you're Vancouver here, it's time. As they near 60% here, you want to get yourself on the board. You need to get yourself on the board, and Adbon, I figured we'd be seeing it at some point, but we get it out here early. A bit more of a comfort pick for him on that tank. The Zarya comes out to play.
Zarya coming out, Identity taking Cool's pedal platform up, and gets forced out past the block in order to out, doesn't manage to find anyone. We'll trade the Tree of Life for it, and Lord Sand dropping the orbital ray coming down. And all these ultimates coming through, Icy popping too soon, and trying to get something done. But alright, there's a Q-Fest. There's a Q-Fest on my screen, but it's coming real close. As Smooth, the last one to pop the Q. Adbon gets Discord falls really low, and Foliage trying to pick. Lord Sand is traded back to answer back. Trade was coming in favor of Washington, as Kieran dropping Blizzard on the point to lock everyone out. It is 99, 100% to 0. Washington will take round 1.
Absolutely, and I mean, such a strong showing there, right? Great ult. I mean, these are teams. The question of having good ult economy isn't. This isn't gonna. Not even going to be something we even really think about all too much. We do have a question regarding pausing right now. Apparently, someone or multiple people might be having internet issues. I believe it might be on the part of Vancouver here.
Yeah.
Oh, it's Adbon. Oh no.
Not good. You hate to see it. And Adbon in chat saying his ping's over 500 milliseconds. That's very tough to play through. Just for context, if you were to go from NA to Korea, that would be about 200 milliseconds. That's usually the highest end that you want to train to play Overwatch on. This will be rough for the tank.
I mean, this is not a series in which Vancouver can afford to have Adbon on 500 MS. It's not an option.
Maywalls are coming out and trades coming through quickly. Favoring Vancouver through all of this as it's 4v3 on at the point looking as Adbon, high energy on the high ground, just trying to poke and prod anyone down. The only thing he'll find is fully just
absolutely very mature spacing here from him on that Zarya, right, fighting for every single inch he can get, but he is a little bit, I don't know, he doesn't get caught out there whatsoever, falling a little bit low. I mean, he's going to take this as slow as he needs to. His identity gets picked out by foliage.
Yeah,
That's a big pick onto that Echo.
Yeah,
Adbon goes down.
Adbon goes down. Oh, critical play out of Kieran. Maywall comes up. Tank is isolated, and Icy either doesn't have or doesn't want to commit his cooldowns in order to get in and save Adbon. So Adbon just falls. Adbon going from 100 to 1,000 ping. That is very rough.
This might be unplayable for him. I mean, 500 is bad. On 1,000, your screen looks like a slideshow.
Yeah.
It might. Vancouver might need to sub out their shot caller and arguably, probably their star player.
Yeah. We do have, we can look into it if we wanted to. As the Brazilian Flux comes out, Vanguard taking 2. Graviton Surge out from Adbon. Vanguard not able to eat it, but will force Liam's Transcendence out in order to keep everyone alive. As Washington near 80% on this point. At Parados, we have ults coming up, but it's looking really rough, especially if Adbon is playing on high ping.
Absolutely, and I'm trying to get a look at his POV here just to see just how bad it is. But I don't think we really have any sort of recourse here. As Vanguard takes out Icy, Adbon falling low, Vanguard and Liam go down, but Adbon gets traded out for it. At this point, they're pretty much even 3-3. Who manages to take this one out? And it looks like Vancouver's gonna get it.
Yeah, while all of that was happening, Smooth on the Sojourn pops the overclock, manages to pick off 2. And yeah, you gotta say thank you, Mr. Smooth, for clutching that point up for us and getting Vancouver a foothold finally onto the board. Icy onto the Lucio. I think the last time I've seen Icy play Lucio, I remember casting him in Season 4 and then getting really mad for him swapping off of it. But last minute touches are happening. Cool onto the Juno as well, trying this double speed comp in order to get things through.
Absolutely, and then Icy getting rolled attempting to walk through the war backline here. And that's going to be pretty critical as the Echo copy on Identity there goes down. Oh my goodness, but a great pick from Smooth on Vanguard, taking him right off of that high ground. And the turret following up there. That might give him a leg up.
Yeah, Smooth. Again, this Smooth from season 4, winning the Emerald Grand Finals Championship against Dallas Vanguard with the Ottawa Savage, proving why he's been a champ and knowing what it's coming to. Identity turning around, coming in for 2, but War turning around, answering back to the 2 picks onto Identity. Liam falls to Knight to the head from Icy, and Adbon onto the Monkey, trying to get back in desperately. Will fall to Foliage's turret as Foliage and Vanguard turn around, flip the point. Foliage dropping the Molten Core, trying to zone anyone through. Cool falls to the lava, and it's just smooth in as the Tracer to touch. Gravitic Flux out. That is devastating. No one on the side of Vancouver can touch, and Washington will take map 1 to the.
I mean,
Play of the game.
oh no, Adbon requesting to go to his university in order to play this one out, but it's going to be about a half an hour break if we decide to do that.
10 minutes.
10 minutes.
10 minutes.
If he can make it in 10, we do allow for a 10-minute recess in order to 10 to 15-minute recess, depending, in order to allow this to happen. I mean,
want to say it's 5 minutes in between maps. It's 5 minutes in between maps now that we have started the series, but it is on Washington if they want to force it, or if they want to allow it.
Oh boy, and Adbon at this point, it's on Adbon and his driving skills. It's got to be. Hopefully he doesn't get lost on the way. He manages to make it there. They let him in. Chat does want it. We've got a number of people in chat. We the people, says Nikkei. We've got a lot of people who want to see this. Because I mean, I'm going to be honest, on 1000 MS, the game is pretty much unplayable. It doesn't matter who you are. And in this series, it's War is not a team Adbon can play on even like 600 MS. There's just no way. So, I don't know if we're going to allow it. We're not postponing.
It is on, Ricochet, the GM of Vancouver, Washington has said they won't postpone,
Yep, it's this match is happening today. Whichever way it happens or whichever way it doesn't happen, the Ruby, there will be a Ruby finals winner, right? A champion tonight. No matter what.
Yeah, one will be crowned. However, sitting on the side of Vancouver, they do have their sixth man, Andrew, sitting on the bench. Andrew, our production lead, but very famously a diva player, and could come in, could at least take over if they wanted to continue it. As we are waiting through, debating stuff. As we get updates fed to us from the side of production, we will let you know. So,
And the problem that apparently we're seeing here is that there's no guarantee that there's going to be an open spot on the campus, at the campus computers, the lab, whatever it might be, right? And so Adbon requested a postponing. Washington, the ball is in Washington's court. It's not up to the league. It's not up to Vancouver. It's entirely up to Washington. Washington has declined to postpone the match. There will be no postponing of this match. Either Adbon is able to play as is, right, due to there being a map already played, or he can make it to the lobby. But as we sit here, time is ticking down for this Vancouver team. It is not in their favor.
It is very unfortunate what has been going on, but let's move away from that. Let's talk about what happened in that first map. We saw a lot of great plays is coming out from the side of Washington. A lot of critical Mei walls from Kieran, the Mei player, on the side of Washington, to isolate Adbon, to isolate a tank player or isolate one other player, and force fights where Vancouver have to get uncomfortable in order to try and make stuff happen.
Absolutely. And hold on, let me go ahead and just quickly confirm for those in the chat. Washington has refused to postpone the match to another day. However, I do believe we are allowing Adbon time to hopefully get to the. He said that he's going to restart and pray. But I mean, well, regardless of whether he was going to go to the university, it looks like Washington is giving this Vancouver roster some time to hopefully fix whatever the issue might be. But what I'm saying here is that they have declined to postpone to another day. That's not something we typically allow. There's a map that's already been played, right? And there's nothing as far as scummy or something like that goes, not even a question. Washington is being absolutely gracious and giving Vancouver more than their allotted time in order to attempt to resolve whatever technical issues that they may be having at the moment.
Exactly. So as we are saying this, Adbon is back. Adbon is back into lobby, hopefully restarting the game. Has settled the internet issue. Has settled the internet issues down. Arnos, Vancouver are now down 1-0 in the series.
All right, hold on. Adbon is requesting that chat send Adbon the energy. Send him the energy that his internet may be good. No 1000 MS Adbon. Can we get some support in the chat, please? For Vancouver, for Adbon's internet. That we may have ourselves a nice contestable series tonight.
I mean, hopefully things calm down as we're going on. I want to talk to you, Arnos. Who's Vancouver have the next map pick. Where do you go?
They do.
Where do you choose to?
I don't know. Honestly, it's less about that and more that Adbon's computer, his router, his internet, holds it and themselves together. As far as where they go, I really don't know. Vancouver have. I don't think we've seen a Vancouver War matchup as of yet with these specific rosters. I don't necessarily know where they'd look to go into war. What do you think might be a good idea here for them?
I mean, knowing this Vancouver squad a little bit, I wouldn't be the one. When they started going down maps against Dallas in week 7, one of the first picks that they ended up going to, and we do have it in chat. It's Numbani. They're going Numbani. I'm pranking y'all. Just gonna prank y'all. They're going to Numbani. Dive is back on the table.
And both teams here, even Foliage on Washington is sending Adbon energy. Everybody, the Twitch chat, the production booth, the other team that they're facing, everybody is praying for Adbon's internet. Put it together. You know what? It's all we have. We gamers might not be able to afford our meals for the next month, but by God, if we don't have internet. Internet
gods, please bless Adbon.
God bless Adbon. If Comcast decides to give us this one thing, let it be Adbon's internet for roughly the next hour and a half to 2 hours, however long the series takes.
Please let his internet stay through, and and I'm praying to the Overwatch gods as well. Please give us some good Overwatch as we loading into the map. Washington opting to start on the defense, Vancouver on the attack.
Absolutely, and Numbani is definitely a map. I've seen Adbon do some wicked Winston work on this map, and there we go. We've got a gorilla versus gorilla matchup. When's the last time we saw one of these?
Last time we saw one of these, probably it's been a minute, but you know what? Gotta love the battle of the scientists as we come through. Cool, still sticking onto the Life Weaver. Icy onto his Kiriko, but on the side of Washington, a very classic defense. Here on the Genji, Foliage onto the Ashe, really looking to poke, prod, and poke and prod, and Vancouver down as the doors are open. Doors are opening up. Adbon's confirming that he's on,
200.
200 ping. Okay,
better. It's better. You know what? It's something.
You know what? if Koreans that decide to play an attendees can play on 200 thing, so can you, Adbon. Making it happen. Adbon
That's
jumping up
true.
immediately, getting pulled out from Cool. So the life grip down almost immediately. Dynamite out, manages to land onto Adbon. Adbon going in. Bubble critically does not land on high ground, lands on the low ground, but smooth opting through. Finds a real shot onto Foliage. Gets slept for his troubles by Liam, but everyone else is coming through. Vanguard jumping in, finding Icy. Icy getting forced back, like with all of the support cooldowns, and Vanguard turning around, picking off Identity. That's the echo down from the side of on the side of Vancouver.
But it's going to be big there. They did manage to get that tick. 3 minutes to go, and there's already a tick on the board. It may not seem like a lot, but it is definitive progress.
It is progress, so now from here, everything will keep going through. As Foliage lands a nice clean headshot, sending one bullet straight into Cool's skull.
Right into his noggin.
Yeah. Both teams up,
Just regrouping. They've got the time. Adbon is, I don't know what he's doing. Probably old-style TF2 hitting his router with a hammer. With a wrench, sorry.
Probably, but as Adbon's going in, Vanguard's going in as well, and it's forcing the life grip.
And there's the Primal.
Yeah, Primal out, Adbon. We've seen him do nasty work on this map before. What can he do?
There we go. Primal in each backline.
Primaling in the backlines, but
And a smile on my face.
Yes, Primal's out. One trades going along on both sides. And Lord Sand popping the rally, trying to dash in order to save the point, but will pay for it with his life. If Foliage, the last one through, manages to get a trade out onto Icy, but will eventually fall as Smooth popping the overclock, and that will be 4 minutes 15 seconds as Vancouver start their attack on B.
And Adbon falling a bit low there, but a lot of time in that bank. 4+ minutes here for this Vancouver roster on this attack is going to give them a very healthy buffer between them and any sort of shenanigans that this Washington roster might decide to come up with.
As Washington starting to set up Vanguard, you see the monkey tech as you're going through. Nano out into the back line. What can this Winston do? Managing to put pressure onto Icy and Cool. Icy falls. Cool next to fall to the hands of Foliage as he's finding those final blows. And it's an Identity in the back line, duping the Winston, getting the Primal down, manages to take out Stan, but everyone else on the side of Washington are cleaning up as Vanguard and Kieran finding their final blows.
It might have been an incredible play, a series of plays there out of Washington, but I just want you to think, how terrifying must it be to see not one but two Winstons, right? The Winston and the echo-copied Winston, dashing towards Lord Stan, getting absolutely cleaned on that brig. But here we go, Bob in the back line, and this roster's getting pinched. And it's a nasty pinch. Trying to use Life Weaver Tree to stay alive. It's not going to work. The Dragon Blade coming out. They're going to pick up 3 as Adbon takes out Kieran. But that's going to be a pretty clean sweep, with really only Adbon probably making it out of here.
Yeah, Adbon makes it out, but you do have to trade. You do trade around both DPS ults on the side of Washington. Sure, you get Cool's tree out, and that's, it's kind of like a mini rally of sorts if you want to think about it that way, but everyone else on Washington ends up falling, and Vancouver getting more progress going on the card as both monkeys angling up towards Primal. Icy holding onto his Kitsune Rush, but Vanguard first to pop the Primal and manages to get Cool into a corner and sends them back to the spawn.
Absolutely, and I mean they're desperately trying to stay alive here. Adbon contesting point for really all he's worth. I mean, effort is made, but he's just not able to get anybody with that Primal. Does manage to make the space though, right? As Vanguard just chases down Smooth, and he's straight into the back line here as Foley picks up a pick onto Icy, and they're going to be up here. War's probably going to want to get out of here as Cool gets picked up as well.
Yeah, War's going to need to make their way out. Adbon will try and stagger for a little bit more card progress. That's unfortunate. Well, actually, will be on the same wave respawn as Cool, so thankfully it's not as bad of a stagger. And Adbon saying, no more monkey business, I'm going to Diva.
Yeah, apparently he's still lagging here. I mean, it's just, if that is the case, it is just unfortunate, you know?
Yeah.
You hate to see it. Not you love to see it, you hate to see it. And Vanguard gets cleaned here. Unfortunately, jumping all the way up on in there and just gets yoinked out of the, you know,
Unfortunately.
into the afterlife.
Yeah, and Liam committing the nano as well. I'm not sure if that was intended for Vanguard. Seems like it, but unfortunately Vanguard falls right before the very end. And oh my, Kieran with the ice block on May, barely managing to get in before we find the end of the and Blizzard out, but Vancouver will get point B as it's all getting cleaned up in the kill feed.
And Vancouver here, this Numbani pick coming to life for them, really, as they edge their ways on over to the end here, point C.
Yeah.
Strong pick, a very strong map pick for them.
Very, very strong indeed. As rock out, brilliant dupe from the side of Identity in order to make sure that it doesn't get rocked. And Adbon finds 2 with the Diva Bomb. We are in the year of 2025 and we are getting Diva Bomb kills. Chat, it's happened.
This ain't Marvel Rivals.
This ain't Marvel Rivals. But can anyone touch Kieran coming out? Needs to touch. Will manage to get in just at the very end. Get the ice block down.
0.19. Oh,
yes,
man.
and Robert's coming in, trying to clean up as all the kills are getting traded across. Adbon, Baby Diva, Foliage will turn around, find a final blow, and it's just Identity left. What can you get? Identity versus Kieran, and now the Soj coming in from the side of the smooth as Kieran manages to get through. Liam coming back onto the Kiriko, who doesn't manage to escape. Doesn't manage to
what
get
a
Kieran in time,
heartbreak.
but will prevent Vancouver from capping all 3 points. And now that Vancouver have fallen to their final 40 seconds, they need to finish this map if they want they need to finish this map with time, or just finish this map in general in order to set the pace for Washington to come back on the attack.
Absolutely, and I mean, at this point, less than 20 seconds here in this round. You know, turret going down, great pick there by Identity. If they want to go, the seconds are ticking down. Less than 10 seconds. It's now or never. And Adbon Anode goes in on the torch. Foliage goes immediately down. Kieran gets the pick onto Identity in retaliation, and Adbon is low, demeched.
Yeah.
And here it is. Oh no, Washington come back in.
Washington come back in, and unfortunately, Smooth popping the overclock, managed to get a boot to the skull from Liam, and will fall. It will not be a completion, but you pretty much have to full cap this map if you are Washington in order to take the map.
Absolutely, and a roster certainly capable of doing so, but it will not be without its work. Adbon may be on high ping, but he's no pushover.
He is not indeed. And War, as both teams are going through, as both teams are kind of starting on the dive, and then we start cycling through to the very end. War coming back onto what worked for them, in their Buffalo series, which is put Vanguard on Sigma, put Kieran on May, and punish for aggression. Play this poke style.
I mean, we've got Adbon decided to stick with his Diva is going to be interesting here on the defense. But we've seen it work. We've seen the multi-kill Diva bomb. You know, I think either of these rosters could make the push as they are now, right? But you know, if you're Washington looking at this, you're gonna have to work for this push. You're really gonna have to work for it.
You have you have to work for it, but the win condition is set, and this is a proven lineup out of them. Vanguard Sigma, nothing to slouch at. Liam Zen as well. The Discord Orb will hurt.
It certainly will. And here we go as they attempt to take this high ground. This War roster storming right on in.
Yeah,
I mean,
storming-
Advon's already off, Identity's off, and they've got this high ground for themselves.
Yeah, high grounds. There's
Oh,
Mela.
try and take out Advon. Do they get him? They do.
Yeah, they'll
Remexed
trade-
immediately.
They will trade for Kieran though, so the May does fall into the hands of Identities, these Echo Stickies, and Icy will send some kunais into the turret in order to take him out. Not let Foliage go in for free. But Adbon, as the baby diva, eats a rock, gets a couple hyper series for his troubles, and will be Washington cleaning up. As Identity does manage to turn around and beam down Lord Stan in the backline, and Liam is gonna,
Identity's still up. There's Kieran's chasing him on the May, but here he is. Doesn't get the contest in time. And Washington, oh my goodness, that time bank, almost 5.5 minutes. That is brutal. That's almost a whole minute longer. Pretty much about exactly a minute longer than War had going into the same exact situation. If you're a War fan, if you're a Vancouver fan, you don't like to see it.
You don't like to see it, but the streets of Nimbani, there's, smooth Identity's coming really close to an Echo duplicate. You can, should be the first ultimate up before almost anything else, maybe only followed up by the Vanguard Sigma getting work done. There is a chance to come through. You just have to play smart. As I say that though, Vanguard turning around, picking off Cool, Kieran turning around, picking off Identity, so no dupe on the table, and Adbon's broken out, and Met gets booted back to spawn, and rock onto Icy. Why not?
Oh no! Oh, what a heartbreak. Icy almost making it out there, catching a rock to the back of the head. That's got to be a crime, right?
That's physics.
Oh,
why
no.
not? Yeah.
Almost 6 minutes on point C.
That's
This is a brutal hold. If you're War here, if you're Vancouver here, this is a brutal hold for you to try and get. And Identity getting yoinked out on this torb almost immediately. I mean, it's I'm not quite sure what happened there. But
it looked like Identity came through, got isolated, and then duped to save their life. And unfortunately, Vanguard and the rest of War are going to turn around and say, "Ooh, free target, 1v5 into 1v5, go get the kill," and keep pressing the gas. You cannot afford to have a stagger like that if you are Vancouver. Pop out, beautiful wall from the side of Kieran.
Our boy Robert just getting shut down there real quick. Why not? And these are gonna hear the ults. Here come the ults. And this entire roster is just low. Oh no.
This looks like a Vancouver team that doesn't know how to play this style. And there we go.
Man.
There we go. Okay, War, I see you.
We take it back.
Yeah.
We take it all back. I mean, that is. I'm talking about how they're gonna have to work for it. It's gonna be rough.
This ends now.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah. I'm genuinely curious. What was the attack time on that? Is this a scrim or is this a match?
4.5 minutes. Our final time on that clock was just under about 4.5 minutes when War capped that point.
Yeah, that's
War up 2-0 in maps in this series. I mean, they're halfway to victory. That's halfway to the championship. And Adbon has stopped playing Overwatch.
He might be trying to restart.
Maybe trying to go for a restart again. Identity is going to tank. Oh no.
Okay.
Oh my goodness. Adbon is out. We report Adbon is out. Identity is on tank. Andrew is in, and Vancouver has lost Adbon.
All right. So, Cool, the captain of Vancouver, they're calling the play. Identity, is a tank player, and we have seen him play tank in the past for Vancouver. Cool, going back to DPS, we have known them as a very prolific Hanzo player, and Andrew coming in off of the bench playing support. We've seen Andrew play a lot of Juno this season. This, this Vancouver team needs a minute in order to regroup, and cool calling for it as well. Very tough going down 0-2, and especially going down in that fashion. You need to take a minute, you need to reset, and you need to get your foothold back, get your foot back in on the gas, because this war team will not give you any space if you let them have it.
I mean, absolutely, but with the loss of Adbon, we have several things switching around. Well, let's go ahead and go through our roster changes here. Adbon is currently completely out. We're not sure what the situation there is. We're not sure what's going to happen. Currently, the roster for Vancouver looks like this. Identity is going to be switching from DPS to tank and will be taking over the role for Adbon. Andrew is in, but is going in on support for Cool. Cool is going to be switching to DPS, and that is your new lineup for Vancouver, who are going to be taking over at currently 0-2 in this series in favor of Washington. They're asking for a minute in order to choose the map. We'll give them the time, as much time as they need here, in order to make that happen. But lock in, because it might take them maybe a map here to stabilize. Right, I'm certain that this wasn't part of the original game plan. Right, they're going to have to adjust, and they're going to have to adjust fast.
You have to move quickly. But if you are Vancouver, or you have Smooth a champion, Cool a champion, Andrew an Emerald champion. I want to say he has 2 chips to his name. But all of these, and Icy, having been in this grand final situation before, all of these players know what it's like to be in a final situation and to be going down maps. These are all, these are champions for a reason. So it's time to lock in, reset, pick your map. First 2 maps didn't matter. Okay? Adbon had internet issues. Tough. Go next. Series starts now. And you have to win 4 best of 1s.
Absolutely, but they don't have a lot of time to lock in here with this, what is essentially a completely clean reset here for this team, right? I mean, this is going to be, they've got to get warm. They've got to get it together, and they have pretty much... They have 1 map to do it. They can't wait until map 2 to do it, because if they wait until map 2 to do it, Washington are your new Grand Finals champions with a clean sweep. So, Vancouver, if there was ever a time, dig deep. That time is now.
Yeah. I want to take a second while we're talking a lot of Vancouver. I want to highlight Smooth. We saw his play of the game at the end of Numbani, him coming in with that clutch overclock, in order to secure point A for Vancouver. Smooth has been, across both of these maps so far, Smooth has been the one that's been coming in and finding those initial picks, finding those initial final blows in order to get Vancouver some space, in order to get Vancouver some time to get into the series. If I'm Vancouver, if I'm Ricochet, if I'm Cool, not only are we, figuring out the internet things, but you're looking to Smooth, you're looking to this championship player to say, time to lock in. What other gear do you have?
And I mean, I think at this point, oh, there we go. We've got a map pick, and the pick is going to be Rialto. I've had my eye on a lot of players here. I think Smooth has done a fantastic job. I think Identity on that DPS was an absolute ace, right? If you see him engage there, as sure as the sun is going to rise in the morning tomorrow, there was a pick, and those picks made plays happen on more than one occasion. But at this point, Identity's on the tank. We've seen it before. It's worked for them in the past. I wouldn't say I'm rooting for Van here, because I'm trying not to root for either team, right? But you want to see a series. It's grand finals. It's Ruby. You want to see a series happen. you know, and
Yeah.
we do. We always do in the casting booth, right? We love our game 5s, our game 7s, you know. We like to see it go all the way, the overtimes. You know, we'll take an even matchup, a hotly contested play any day over a clean sweep. But that's just us. We like the content, you
Yes.
know. But we also, to a certain extent, you know, the teams like it as well. You know, a lot of people like to say that they like clean sweeps. Clean sweeps are nice, and it's nice. It's nice to sweep, but you also like getting out of there feeling like you had to work for it and you achieved something,
That a compliment?
right?
You be the judge.
Yeah, last season
Okay.
both
Thanks
in
for the
Ruby
compliment.
and Emerald, we saw both grand finals matches go 2-7 and go all the way to the last, to the ends of the earth for, both for Dallas and for Chicago in order to win their in order to win their series, in order to win their chips. As I'm saying that though, Vanguard prolific on the Sigma, Identity opting to match him, opted to come in and match him, and Smooth and Cool double sniper. What can these snipers get done?
Absolutely, and Rialto definitely the map for it. I mean, smart picks. These teams know what they're doing. We've still got a match on our hands. We've still got a series. Lock in. There's more to come.
Yeah. Lock in indeed, as both teams poking, prodding, and, Cool sending a sonic arrow through, forcing the ice block out of Kieran and giving some information over. As I say that though, Cool falls off the map somehow, and Kieran turns around and finds Andrew. Smooth does end up trading with Kieran, as both DPS trade out with each other, and Foliage will turn around for the final blows as the team kill horn sounds. And Arnos, we've just moved 20 meters.
We have moved 20 meters. And somewhere in the chat, somewhere at home, JD is sitting there watching this Torbjorn from Foley do work, and there is pride welling in his heart.
There is pride in his heart indeed, as these teams are coming through. Cool sending some storm arrows out, trying to break down a shield, trying to get anything done. But right now, Identity on the high ground, forcing the rest of Washington back, as Vanguard turning around, falling really low. Icy falls low and will eat a rock from Vanguard for his troubles. As Vanguard turning around, finding Cool, Foliage gets Andrew, but Smooth will answer back on a pick from Liam. That is the power of the Widowmaker on our screens. It's just that instant one-shot, one-kill capability. What can he get done?
Absolutely, and Vanguard does a quick tour in front of the spawn doors before regrouping with his team. 2 minutes left on the clock here, and it's not necessarily a full hold that we might be seeing, but you want to see something. As we're coming up on ults here from both of these teams, about less than 2 minutes left on this clock. Cool manages to take down Lord Stan. Is this what War needs? Cool with a pick on the Kieran. That's 2 down. Vanguard going down immediately after. Cool?
Okay.
Cool?
Like I said, this is the same Cool that turned around in Dallas Season 3 and helped take them to a championship against the Washington Rebellion. Different franchise, same franchise, different teams, but this is a champion in our making, and immediately coming through, sending a critical Dragon Strike through, as both fluxes come up. Yeah, both fluxes come through, but it's going to be Andrew first to fall. Smooth turning around, answering back onto Foliage, so it's going to be 4v4 on the point, as Kieran drops the Blizzard to zone out the rest of Vancouver as they're coming through, but Smooth, both snipers still alive and kicking, as Transcendence wall out from the side of Kieran, trying to isolate someone, and Smooth will place a bullet right in Kieran's skull. There we go. That's the opening you need to see, as Foliage dropping the Molten Core down, on Icy answering back with the Kitsune Rush, but both teams falling extremely low. Nano out from Andrew onto Identity in order to keep him alive, and Smooth and Cool Identity will turn around, and there we go. Washington have to give up A.
And Cool just absolutely balled out on this Hanzo. I know we try not to do production bias, but fantastic gameplay out here from this War team. And is this the momentum we finally needed? I mean, you took a look there. Ult after ult after ult. Every single ult that Washington had in their bank, gone. They used them one after another, after another, after another, and they didn't get a single pick from any of their ults. I mean, fantastic gameplay, positioning, and patience coming out from this War team, and it has paid dividends. Paid off in spades. Here we go. I mean, that's it.
Yep. Identity blowing the flux, dipping down. Will force the ice block out of Kieran, and Vanguard will turn around. Answer back for Identity. We'll find another pick onto Icy. There we go. Washington finally finding their hold, going through as Liam and Vanguard find some exit frags onto Cool and Andrew respectively.
Get it moving.
And I mean, they've got the quick regroup here, though. A little more than a minute 30 on the clock. You know, War has the time. War knows they can make it through. We see signs of life and signs of a fight. Do we have ourselves a series?
This might be the way we get to a series on our hands. As Smooth getting off of the Widowmaker, going onto the Sojourn, we're looking for a little bit more consistent pressure as both Sigs throw rocks out. Well, but unfortunately,
oh no!
Yeah, and Vanguard will turn around, pick off Icy. Andrew falls to the hands of Foliage, but Smooth and Cool. Okay. Okay.
3K coming out.
Yeah. Why not?
Oh my goodness. And Identity finds the final pick.
Yeah.
And Vanguard is alone. This could be a monster stagger.
Yeah,
It
Vanguard
won't be. He's going to regroup. They'll get the regroup in. But that was so huge there.
Yeah, huge plays coming out from both DPS players on the side of Vancouver. Cool going out from support onto Hanzo. Well, a pick we know them for, and just showing why they are so prolific. As Blizzard comes out, Andrew first to fall in there. Liam popping the Transcendence in order to keep the push going. And Vanguard sending Icy off the map with the rock and forcing Identity back to spawn.
They might be trying to get a quick reset here. 15 seconds on the clock, though. Hanzo sneaking around the side there. Cool trying to get a little bit of positioning going. 10 seconds left. 9, 8.
Scout out by Vancouver.
Advon has started playing Overwatch. There's a lot of things going on here.
Yeah. As we're going through Foliage, ripping the multi.
They don't make it back.
Yeah. Beautiful Maywall from the side of Kieran in order to prevent anyone from Vancouver from making it through that choke. Yeah, you have the zoning ultimate from Foliage as well to help, but what's more effective than a zoning ult? A huge wall that says you shall not pass.
Initiating match.
War holding on B.
And we have there is a guiding light. Something came in. The Holy Ethernet cable has been acquired by Adbon. His roommate has come in clutch. Our prayers have been answered. Adbon might have internet.
Ethernet.
Oh my goodness.
Yep.
He might have it.
Is there a chance? Do I hear the horns singing in the background? We might have it. Oh, he stopped playing Overwatch. Come on, Adbon. Come on.
All right. Well, as we are going through and we are questioning whether or not Adbon will be getting back into this lobby, Washington on their attack, Foliage starting on the Widowmaker, are opting to kind of match these snipers. Yeah, we know Hanzo's a sniper. We don't typically call Ash a sniper, but we kind of call her a sniper for the purposes of long-range single-shot hit scan in order to put some pressure down.
And as this round starts, Adbon is back on Overwatch. What do we see? I mean, they might be able to push their way through here. It doesn't matter. The king may return. Will it happen? But here we go. The back half of this map here on Rialto. A quick rock to Identity's face. Gonna force him a little bit back here as Washington begins to round this corner. Kieran with a quick two-piece.
Okay, Kieran, I see you. Send an icicle right into Cool's skull. Well, a follow-up onto Andrew. Why not? As the card's pushing and Foliage puts a bullet right into Icy's skull as Identity falls to the hands of Vanguard. Smooth does get its final does get a closing blow onto Kieran's May with the dynamite, but that's it. And this Washington team, it's a, you know, it's a blistering pace on this card as these snipers are forcing everyone to respect their sightlines.
Absolutely, but this card is turning. That final corner, they're looking to cap, and I mean, War doesn't want it.
War doesn't want it.
Vancouver doesn't want it.
Vancouver again. Foliage, another pick onto Icy. There you go.
Oh,
and it'll
man.
be 5 minutes 10 seconds.
5 minutes plus, 5:12 there at the beginning, and I mean, here we go. Here we go.
This is,
I mean,
you know,
I bet you right now, Adbon is cope Seath maulding right now, watching this, saying that Ethernet better come in clutch. I mean, 4 minutes and 40 seconds, and they're almost under the small bridge already there. I
they're
mean,
almost,
here we go.
Identity getting off of the Sigma onto the Ramatra immediately has to press shift in order to, you know, after eating
Icy
a lot.
stays alive though, no pick from that, and Cole finds the pick on a Kieran.
Yeah, there you go, the power of the Hanzo.
Oh,
immediately
Andrew
just
goes
going
down
gambling.
though. They're even. Oh, Foley picks out. Cool, that's a big pick from Foley on that Widow.
Yeah.
And then they're gonna try to walk in now. They are up. And Identity getting absolutely destroyed.
Yep.
It's 3 versus 3. A desperation. Bob trying to contest this point, but we're over 4 minutes on this clock right now.
We're over
I mean,
4 minutes.
Vanguard just got a ton of health from that.
Yeah,
And here we go. Here comes the
dropping
Juno
dropping the Juno ult. There we go. Orbital ray through. Ooh, Icy can just drop a pot. But that's about it. As Kieran dropping the celebratory blizzard, and Washington will go up 3-0 in this grand finals.
And here we go. I mean, the story here is Adbon's internet. Adbon is currently on Overwatch. Do we see it? Do we see them sub Adbon back in? Is there a possibility of a reverse sweep? Or do Washington manage to secure this final map? Or does something else entirely happen? What do we see? He's in the lobby. Adbon's here with us right now as we speak. Do we see it happen? Does Vancouver get the Cinderella story to end all Cinderella stories here in Season 6, Ruby? Does Andrew back out? Andrew, we love you. In Prod here more than anywhere.
Yep.
But do we see him back out? We do. Andrew is out. Adbon is in. And ladies and gentlemen, that's it. Here we go. You know what? If it's not going to happen here, it wasn't never going to happen.
And the time starts. Yeah, time starts now.
Time does start now.
You know, Adbon's back. Ethernet diff. Hopefully, maybe that's the answer they needed. Maybe Adbon just needed an Ethernet cable. But, if you are Vancouver, if you want to win, you have your final map pick, but that is it. You need to start winning from here on out.
I mean, does it happen? We're supposed to plug 10 mans for those. All right, hold on. I got my infomercial voice going. For those of you looking for a good time here at United Rogue Overwatch after the Season 6 Ruby Grand Finals, make sure to check out the 10 mans happening in the United Rogue Overwatch server immediately after this.
And Adbon with the final pick, opting to go to serve. Wait, no, we're pranked. we are pranked. Okay.
Production has been pranked.
Yeah, thank you, Adbon. Thank you for pranking me. You know what? I hope the internet cable was worth it. You know what? We're going to Flashpoint. We're not going to Saravasa. We're going to the other one. We're going to New Junk City.
And I love you too in the chat. Whoever's out there, we got Guna and Laggy. Appreciate you both. Tell Moto I said hi. And we're dropping our points. Does it happen?
Does it?
Who wins map 4? Does Adbon show us? Does he show us the magic? Why are we going to Rialto?
Guys.
What? Huh? Rialto? NA Prod. Oh no. Oh no.
No.
Jay Swiss is blushing.
I was about to say this is not a prod issue. This is
We have
squarely
Rialto. Oh my goodness.
Squarely on Stan. This is squarely on our lobby host, Lord Stan. That one's on you, buddy. As we're going into the right map this time, New Junk City, Adbon coming back in at tank, Identity moving back to DPS, and Cool moving back over to support. You know,
Here we go.
as we're, you know.
Oh my goodness. Sorry, I take it back. It wasn't Jay Swiss. It was Lord Stan. I take
I
it all
was
back.
about to say this is not a prod issue. This is squarely your
This is
lobby
not-
host.
Take it all back, Jay Swiss. We're sorry. I'm sorry. The broadcast is pristine. You're pristine.
Got a good cigar. There you
All
go.
right, as both teams are coming out, Adbon
Adbon
on
on the
junk
lore
food.
accurate JQ. He wants it. He wants the that's why he wants it. He wants the lore accurate JQ win here. Oh my, if there was ever a moment, a map, a matchup, a hero to pick, here it is. Vanguard has gone Hazard. Oh my
Yeah.
goodness.
Vanguard has, so both of these teams, yeah, we're going into some closer quarters. We're going to be a little bit more brawly. The Hazard, you know, he's been, you know, really strong, really dominant so far in the meta. If you can execute through, especially with a well-timed wall from Kieran or a well-timed shot from Foliage, can really isolate through. I stop the queen as both Bay walls are coming up. Everyone's fighting.
Blood is gonna
first
go here
man.
to Vancouver. Identity, the better May in this matchup, or is he? I mean, there you go.
You know, that's certainly a choice, certainly a question you can be asking. Adbon swinging Carnage, going all the way through, managed to get a huge axe swing onto the tank, and Cool and Smooth turning around, taking off War, and
Vancouver. Oh my Vancouver.
okay, Vancouver,
Oh, here they are.
I see
This is the team you've been waiting for. Oh, here we go.
Yep. Why not? As both teams coming through. Ooh, Maywell's out. Foliage getting off of the Cassidy, going over to the Venture, a pick that we've seen him pioneer through a lot of last season. As both Maywell's coming up, we're playing more Tiny Overwatch. That's coming through, and Lamp out. Adbon ripping the Queen ult. He'll manage to get 3, and
Oh my goodness.
Why not?
The 4K. Oh my Adbon.
I see you, Identity. I see you, Identity, stealing his 5th.
Yeah, he doesn't want the Adbon
Yeah.
5K. Oh
Let him
my
have the eights.
goodness.
Have these next time.
Do we see Adbon take this one from the depths and rip it right back?
It's gonna start now. As the downpour coming out on both sides, it catches the tank, but a beautiful wall from the side of Identity to prevent anyone from the side of Washington to come through and follow up. As Blizzard's out from Identity onto the point, Lord stands through, keeping the point contest,
There's no way.
but everyone's falling on the side of Washington. It is just Vanguard left. It is Vanguard and Lord Stan left, and Lord Stan's kind of just gotten out of there, so it's just Lord Stan managed to pick 1 in the closing fight onto Cool, but it'll be first round going in favor of Vancouver. As we head over to the Ducks, Vanguard getting off of the Sigma, going over to the Zarya. You know, a very, put more, Vanguard on the Zarya, Lords, why not? Let's have another cleanse.
United Rogue Overwatch enjoyers, if there was a moment, if there was a map, a series, a hero, a player, this is it, and here we are. Do
There
we
we go.
see it happen?
There we go.
Adbon goes down to Lord Stan.
Yep.
As point opens, Icy falls, Identity falls, and I mean, Washington are pissed.
Yeah,
Washington are pissed. Vanguard's on Zarya. This is a cavalcade of madness.
Well, I will say this. I will say this. This a beautiful blizzard from the side of Washington from Kieran managed to get both Identity and Adbon isolated and caught. So Adbon is the first to fall as Identity just sat in the main block and waiting it through. And from there, tank falls. Everyone else on the side of Washington, 3-2-1 in and went. As both foxes are coming out, but Smooth managing to send a railgun straight into Lordscan's chest as Foliage turning around using this tectonic shock through all of that. Gets icy. Adbon swings his axe through Liam as both teams are fighting through, but trades are starting to favor Washington as it's just Identity left as Foliage cleans up. In the end, 75, almost 80% on this point in Vancouver. They need to go fast if they want a chance at recontesting this flashpoint.
I don't think they're going to. They are not going to. They're going to go straight to the next point, early contest, try to get there, try to secure the next point before this Washington roster makes it. We are 1-1 here. Oh my, I mean, it's a fight. It's not a Vancouver clean sweep. Are they going to manage to take this? I mean, for those of you who don't know, it is a best of 7. If Vancouver lose this map, they lose the finals, they lose the series. That's it. Second place. They'll be finalists forevermore.
Yep.
But
Another beautiful Maywalk
Blizzard,
and
forcing the grab doesn't get anybody. I mean, Identity goes in. But Vanguard's gonna fall, and Kieran with him as Smooth gets picked out by Foliage, but this is gonna be point to Vancouver.
Yeah, Foliage does manage to get one closing frag onto Smooth, but it'll be the first cap going in the favor of Vancouver. A beautiful Maywell from the side of Kieran. Unfortunately, everyone else from the side of Vancouver were able to rotate around and punish the Zarya as Vanguard lost that grab.
Absolutely, 20% here in their favor. But this Washington roster back already. Vanguard trying not to get picked out here. Adbon going deep into this back line. Does this happen? Oh my goodness, all is coming out.
Identity
is
first.
One. Boom! Oh my Smooth!
Smooth, okay.
With a 3-piece.
Why not? Like I said, you need to pay attention to this side. If you're looking at the DPS players, Smooth has been consistently finding these opening picks. Now that Adbon is back, and it seems like he's back on normal ping, Smooth turning around, finding a beautiful overclock in order to basically get Vancouver, up 80% on this flashpoint.
Absolutely, and with every passing second, it looks more and more like Vancouver might just be able to do this.
And Foliage,
and they get to
Foliage.
do it. Oh no!
The point.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, Identity going off map. Sure,
I mean,
Foliage.
they get the clean sweep, but Washington is on the back foot.
Yeah, chat. That is a letter number. That is a letter number, chat.
That's in Ruby Grand Finals, no less. You know what? It's not Adbon doing it this time. That's all that matters.
Fair enough. Fair enough. As we're heading over to the refinery for our fourth flashpoint. Cool holding on to the tree of life. Foliage and Liam holding on to their ults as well, and both teams are going to be coming through. But Wig first cap in favor of
Green.
Big Tree pulling Vanguard through. Bigger lamp to help make sure Vanguard doesn't fall, and Foliage gripping the tectonic shock.
Man, Washington cleans this one up.
Yeah, it'll be Washington. Yeah, Washington cleaning up. It's just Adbon left, Foliage turning around, drill dashing him through. We'll find a final blow, and Vancouver get 37% on the board before Washington flip.
I mean, Vancouver have that 37% though. They have that buffer zone that they need. They can get this back, and they're quick to respond. This point is nowhere near yet over. We're not even halfway. And here they go, Vancouver entering through this front side, going straight to point. Main wall to get them all up. Oh, it's a 5-man grab.
Nice grab.
Oh my, they're all gonna get cleaned. Adbon managing to pick up the one on the Kieran there. Oh no.
and Adbon committed the rampage there. Beautiful, beautiful
that's
play.
a misplay.
Yeah.
That's an awful misplay
That's
there.
that's a heartbreaker. You hate to see it. Beautiful play from Identity in order to use the Maywall to get everyone up as a team in order to take the point. Unfortunately, Cool also dropped their pedal platform.
They try to do the same thing.
Well.
They don't.
Yeah.
They do not try to do the same thing. Adbon's gonna go straight to point. 90% here on their part.
And it'll
mean,
just
They're
get
getting
Blizzard,
held off a point.
Blizzard down from
They
here.
managed to get there, but they're gonna get cleaned.
But everyone on the side.
We are going.
Yeah. We're going all the way to 5.
Point. That's it. Point 5. 2-2. Oh my, come on.
Yeah.
Oh my, you couldn't script this to be more exciting.
We're going to bomb flats in order to figure out if Vancouver will have a foothold in this series or if Washington are going to win it all right here, right now. Get hyped, chat.
Vancouver have the ults. They have 2 ults in the bank, Overclock and Rush to come out here. But, I mean, we're fast coming up on Venture ult and Window here from Liam. These teams, they're close, but currently one's a little bit out ahead of the other. And here we go, Rush immediately coming out here before the point's even taken. And they're going to look to take it out. Immort dropping, Immort goes down, and Adbon is full on committing. Window comes out. Oh my goodness, that might have been a little bit premature. It was.
Yeah, that's very unfortunate as Foliage does manage to turn around, pick off Icy, but Cool finding the pick off the Foliage and will get a grab.
And the grab comes out from Adbon. Do they get the picks? They do.
Yeah, as both teams committing ults as the fight is breaking down. If you're on the side of Washington, you at least like to see the rest of Vancouver start ult dumping for this. As Cool.
Oh no, the tree.
Oh, Cool. Oh, Cool. We want that tree
Cool.
back. We want that tree. That's either an ego tree of life or we want that back.
It doesn't matter though. I mean, they've got over half the point. They only have Blizzard though. They have no other ults.
They have not. Vancouver have nothing. They're about to come up on a Blizzard, but Vanguard, Foliage, and Kieran all either have ults or about to have ults of their own. Smooth onto the Pharah. There he flies in order to punish through. And huge pedal platform in order to get everyone out of the grab. Unfortunately, everyone else will fall back in. And
there's the ult, there's the Blizzard.
Pulling
Do they manage to get anyone? Oh my goodness, counter Blizzard.
Counter Blizzard out on the side of Kieran, and everyone else.
They're relatively even right now. Oh no, though the Pharah goes down. And with that, it's just going to be Adbon, but they got 99% of this point.
Yeah,
that's one team fight.
One team fight away. That's all you need. Foliage going.
They're down on ults too. Adbon is grab.
Adbon has that's about you are looking to either Kieran to get a beautiful wall up in order to prevent the rest of Vancouver from following up on that Graviton surge, or you are looking at Liam to have the perfect lamp in order to save the entirety of his team. As
Washington loses one team fight, and they
Maywall
lose
out.
this map.
Yeah,
I mean, that's
Maywall out.
where we're at.
Adbon falling really low, does manage to have a bubble in order to save himself.
Kieran goes down!
Kieran
and
goes
the
down!
ult immediately on the Vanguard! Vanguard goes down! Vancouver goes to point! That's gonna be it.
Yeah,
There's no way they get this back.
Nope, it'll be smooth cleaning up.
Vancouver,
Smooth cleaning up on Liam, and it's just Foliage on the Tracer, having to go through and touch.
Do they do it? Lord Stand
Lord Stand trying to contest, but will fall.
Up, and Vancouver are going to take New Junk City, putting themselves on the map in this series. Do we begin to see the reverse sweep from Vancouver?
I mean,
do we see it?
If it starts, it's gonna start now. Your best of, guess what? You've just won one best of one. Good maps going through in the chat. Vanguard with our play of the game, and watching this beautiful Graviton surge. And unfortunately, this is what I said. Cool, missing didn't have the pedal platform in order to save everyone there. And Vanguard and Washington are able to turn around and clean up. So Washington, moving on into this series, we now have one map type left before we open everything back up again. They have to go to push. If you are now,
and they do,
and they go to Runasapi, immediately coming out. If there was ever a map that a push map that really favored Washington style, this is the push map. This is the map you'd like to see. From here on out, Vancouver, the pressure's on them. The pressure you know, they have to win, and they have to win cleanly. Washington, you get to cycle through any maps that you would like to pick. So maps like Circuit Royale are still on the table. Maps like Midtown are still on the table. Well, these these maps that really favor this poke style.
I mean, here we go. We are ready. Prod is ready.
Yeah, Rod is always
I mean,
ready.
we are ready. Here we go. Runa Sappy, and I mean, does Vancouver do it? Does Vancouver do it? I mean, they have the slog of all slogs. They have to win 3 consecutive maps in a row without dropping a single one in order to win this series. What are the chances? What are the chances they manage to do this?
It's gonna have. It started on New Junk City, and we saw them play it really close. The second Vancouver started really getting active in the brawl. Let Adbon cook on heroes like Junker Queen and Zarya. Give Smooth the space to start popping off on the Sojourn. We saw this team really line things up and turn that map around. But as we're going to Runasapi, very long sightlines, very long sightlines, very much favored to this style that Washington like to run. Put Vanguard on the Sigma, put Vanguard on the Sigma, put Kieran on the Mei, put Foliage on the Torb, and put Liam on the Zen. Let them have the space to work with in order to find these picks and put the pressure on.
Absolutely, and I mean, here we go. At this point, we have action. If there is a road, you know, they gotta walk it down. They gotta make it all the way through.
Yeah, it starts now as both Adbon early bubble onto Identity from the deflect as well, and blows a second bubble for himself as well. As both teams poking, prodding through towards the mega side. Maywell out, doesn't manage to isolate anyone as Cool's pedal platform gets them up and gets them some visionary. As Washington open up with the first 0.8 meters of this push map, it's anyone's game at this point. Another beautiful life grip from the side of Cool in order to save Identity's life, as Foliage's turret is the first to fall. But Adbon finds the first pick onto Kieran. There we go. That's the opening you like to see if you're a Vancouver fan. And as the Genji's going back into the backline, trying to make stuff happen.
And this positioning is so good. I mean, look at this. Falling back, allowing themselves to take whatever hits they need to, heal up, go right back in. This is absolutely great positioning here coming out from this roster. And as I say that, Cool gets caught out. I shouldn't say anything. Why do I talk?
And there's a Cheeto into Icy Skull. Foliage turning around, picking off Identity as well. And it's just this Zarya. Rock misses from Vanguard, but it does not matter, as Liam will turn around, reset the Zarya's energy, as we are, about 2 minutes in? Less than 2 minutes in, and Adbon has a grab. Why not?
Absolutely. I mean, we have 4 different ults here.
Yeah,
and more on the way here.
More on the way.
Might I add, every player in this match is about to have an ult. Do we see him go out simultaneously Emerald style? Or are we gonna see
get ready for some Qs to come through, and Cool gets caught on the main wall. Tries the pedal platform out, and unfortunately we'll get slowed and we'll get caught by Vanguard.
That's both support ults. That is both support ults coming out of this team. They've got nothing left to keep them up.
A little aggressive from the side of Washington. You maybe want one of those ults back, but not a problem, because you did trade out Adbon's grab, and it was and reset the Zarya's energy on top of that. So Adbon needing to get more energy up again. And Flux for 2 will manage. Yeah, big Life Weaver grip.
They go for the Blizzard off the backline. Doesn't get anyone, but Icy falling.
Yeah.
And does this Genji go down? Does Identity fall?
Does Identity fall? Really low, yes. But Smooth will turn around, send the rail into Kieran's chest for his troubles, as it's just as the bot continues to push. We are over 100 meters.
We certainly are, and I mean, at this point, this is a long push. This is a very, very, very long push. If you're looking at the other side.
Yeah.
But here we go.
Blade
Oh
out.
no! Oh, shut down. Both DPS ults coming out. Are they going to be able to pick up the kill on the Vanguard? I don't think they will. I think he's going to get back with his team.
Nope.
But
Nope.
that's definitely going to be momentum for them.
Yeah, both DPS ults coming out does manage to, Washington trading up the Molten Core from Foliage in order to give up some space, but you favor that trade just because force some more things out. I see dropping the Kitsune Rush on point, trying to force the bot through and turning off those forward spawns, and just as he does that, Smooth will send a rail headshot into Stan's skull. Oh, no more forward spawns for that Juno, and that. No more forward spawns and no more speed on the side of Washington right now.
Yeah. Very crunchy little pick there. And Tree comes out.
Tree comes out.
But they're pushing. They're going to attempt to push through this with Trance.
Yeah,
oh,
Trance.
This might actually end up working out. Advon is having the back line, but they're going to try to get the pick on the Foliage here.
Yeah.
And it's going to work. They're going to get the trade. Stan takes down Icy. And Advon's still high charge out on point. Gets the grab onto Kieran. Oh, the Juno ult's coming out. Are they
okay?
Advon here. If they kill him now, they might get something.
They might.
Oh
they might.
God,
And unfortunately, they're not.
Oh
going
my
to.
God, he lives.
Ooh. Holy trade.
Washington. You guys might be in a little bit of trouble here. I mean, they've got ults coming, but
if you are Stan, you either need to clutch up and reset the Zarya's energy there at the bare minimum, or you just waste that ult. As I say, that
goes down.
Yep, Vivina clutch out, Cool is the
Advon
first of all.
gets
Advon is falling really low, and Foliage will send the Cheeto through to reset the energy. Sorry, Suzu out from Icy as he's managing to back up, and Washington will turn off the forward spawns. Identity gets the bad spawn, and this should be Washington coming back. Hopefully off of this fight, they could get their forward spawns turned back on as we go into this next fight. No support role on the side of Washington, and Vancouver have both of their DPS ults about to come up online.
Oh no, Cool getting picked out early. A second fight in a row. Not good. Not good at all. And Vancouver's just going to try to walk back. Oh, both supports are down. Icy getting early picked as well. Oh, that's a heartbreak. And they're already back all the way here. They're looking at final fight here almost. If they don't manage to shut this down. And they've got ults.
They've got ults. Liam is.
There it is. Here comes Dragon.
Blizzard out north.
Oh no, Identity picked. Oh yeah, with a huge pick. Vanguard with 2. Oh, this might be it.
Huge pick to shut down the Genji Blade. And
it's just Cool and Advon.
Yeah, just Cool and Advon. Advon sitting there with high charge. Eats a rock to the face, and Vanguard will turn around and send him back to spawn. Vanguard popping the gravitic punch, trying to get something done. Will manage to lift Cool up, and it's all coming through. It's all coming through, but it's just Identity left. Graviton Surge out, and it's Graviton Surge out. Advon blowing really low, and that's it. It will be Washington Rebellion taking it 4-1 in the grand finals. They are your new Season 6 Ruby champions.
What a heartbreak. You know, there are series that you're happy happened the way they did. There are series that you're not. For a brief moment there, for one map, New Junk City on the JQ, it looked like Vancouver might have this in the bag. It looked like we might have the Cinderella story to end all Cinderella stories. But unfortunately, it wasn't meant to be. Runa Sappy is where this story ends. And hopefully we'll pick back up here in Season 7 of United Rogue Overwatch. What are your thoughts?
I mean, Adbon did say it in chat, for the first 2 maps he was playing with some, he was playing with internet issues, and that is very unfortunate to be running into it right here in one of your biggest games of your season. But we saw what happened when Vancouver were down, backs against the wall, needing to come through and needing to win. Turn around, play scrappy, play tough, and we even saw it on this map. We saw flashes of brilliance from Smooth. We saw flashes of brilliance from Adbon. It just wasn't enough at the very end. A heartbreaker on the side of Vancouver.
It absolutely is. You hate to see it. You love to see, as I mentioned before, you love to see these series go the distance. And for a brief moment, we saw the glimpse. We saw the light at the end of the tunnel, and we reached for it. We just didn't quite make it. Congratulations, though, to both teams, Washington and Vancouver. Congratulations to all of the teams who played in both Ruby and Emerald Leagues here in Season 6 of United Rogue Overwatch. Thank you to those in Twitch chat. Thank you for production, for League Ops staff, and everyone tuning in throughout this season. All of those who played, supported, came to watch. To our GMs, to our captains, to our players, we thank each and every single one of you for a fantastic Season 6, and we hope to see you again returning for Season 7. I've been a... We have 10 mans going right now to cap off the season. Make sure to show up for that. I'm sure we'll have more than 10 people probably.
And we will have our Emerald Grand Finals, Houston Flames versus Miami Cayman on Friday, on Friday night, 9 o'clock EST. Thank you, production. Thank you, Jace West. Thank you, Jace West, for getting the times right for me. Yes.
We're not done just yet.
Not done just yet. We have one more series to go one more grand finalist to crown. A huge congratulations to Washington Rebellion and all the players on that team for winning the grand finals, and huge congratulations to them. Huge, big thank you to everyone who played this season. Do your intent form, go do 10 mans, and I think that's it for us. I think we're signing off.
Absolutely. Have a good night.
Good night.
It's funny how the world keeps turning.